Overflows.
How transformation begins. Transformation is a process, therefore, it begins in a unique way. To some extent, it is very much similar to the process of planting a crop. The soil where the crop is to be planted is not yet suitable for planting. Its surface is hard, and there are frozen or hard layers upon layers that make the process difficult. The soil is close to the process. First, you have to loosen the soil, then it has to be nourished. Once it is loose and nourished, only then it becomes ready for seed to be planted. Once the seed is planted, the process does not finish. The farmer knows the entire process from preparing the soil to final reaping the crop. The entire process continues in stages. So is the process of transformation. Psychological, emotional, intellectual openness releases the energy from its deepest source where it existed in frozen state and thus was creating chaos within. It begins to melt and to flow freely as the channels are opening and the capillary system begins to operate. Now it needs to be conserved and thus help in its unnecessary wastage. Loosens or opens the heart center, allows the energy to flow freely, nourishing all the layers of the being. As the heart center opens, a warmth of love surges within, trust grows, surrender to this process begins. Such is the story of the process of transformation, and the author flows through the communion. She continues, a few years later, my mum told me about someone she got to know in an outdoor pool. She was a Reiki master, never heard about this before. And she said to her she could come to her to ease her arthritis. It worked. So I began to do research about Reiki. At last I began to learn from her, and this was so much. In 2004, I began to practice Reiki regularly, and I felt at first at home and absolutely at the right place with what I am doing, absolutely fulfilled and satisfied and in peace, me and the world. Never felt it that strong in anything that I did before. Until now, during this time, I gave a number of Reiki workshops too. At one time, I made the Reiki with a woman and found something besides her left shoulder blade that made me really worry. She said she had only pain on her right shoulder blade sometimes, but it haunted me for 3 days, saying I should tell her my worries about it. So I did, and she told me that she had a nagging cough sometimes since a few weeks. She got to the doctor who diagnosed lung cancer in exactly this area. I could not believe it. There are number of things like that I could feel things I did not know before. A bone screw in the spine, for example, that I felt as an iron bar on exactly this place. Or as I did Reiki with someone you know I think it is okay to tell this to you because you already know. There was such a persistent blockage over his front sacral chakra, like a rubber tube. It almost began to flirt with me when I tried to take it off, charmingly saying, "Want to remove me? So try if you want to." Almost like, "Let us play." I had to grin. It was so surprising, but there was nothing I could do. When I talked about it, he told me that you had told him about the blockage before, but I could not believe it. I think my main problem is that it is too hard for me to believe and trust myself and these non-scientific phenomena, to let it naturally flow through my life, let it lead my way, and to give myself the okay to surrender to it. I am right there. I felt and feel it so deeply. I'm just afraid. When I surrender to it, when I begin to live this life totally and feel it in every cell, I feel so powerful, so fulfilled, and beyond any doubt. I feel strong. Perhaps I'm still holding on to someone. They had to deal with depressions their whole life and needed others to be with them down there. Not someone calling from above, "Life is beautiful." They could not bear this and went rather destructive and with hard recriminations to people around being not with them in the lower phases, in the lowest phases. I know that some kind of conditioning I had to deal with. I would really like to let it go. Thank you so much for your ice breaking and that I now wrote that letter to you. I wrote it for 3 days, and so much has happened during this time. Sometimes I thought there was no need for me to write to you at all, because all answers came when I thought about how to write it to you. Thank you, Tao, so much. And if ever I can do anything for you, let me know. Friday, 9th of April 2021. Tao, received your letter, will respond as soon as possible. Although, once you have sent me the letter, you will feel the response deep within immediately. Blessings. Love you. Take care. Will message you soon. Feel my presence deep within you. That presence will nourish you, my child. Tao. Master works in unique ways. Direct communion in one way. When you are face to face for a wordless communion, when only energy flows as silence, the other is the way when he speaks. This way, energy flows, riding the wings of the words. Here, your focus remains on words. In reality, words are meaningless or to less relevant in comparison to what flows through the words. Still, there is another way. He communes with you through dream sequence. He activates the dream sequence and allows everything to happen within you. This is through your subconscious. You feel his presence. You commune with him during the dream. Always observe your energy level. feeling joy or misery. After you come out of the dream sequence, this will explain you much. This is the way of teaching as well. You begin to trust your feelings more and overall trust grows. 27th of April 2021. Tao, how are you after writing to me? The silence does not mean I did not care. I wanted you to feel the response within in the form of your inner state. Let me know when I can talk to you via WhatsApp. You can send your phone number and I will connect. Seeker, dear Tao, thank you for your response. I am fine and always aware of your plan to give me time, and I needed this time. There has been only a few moments when I longed for your answer. Most of the time I felt that I wasn't ready for it and hoped you would not write me yet. Yesterday evening I felt I was ready and sent it out to you. I wasn't surprised to see that you answered me, just delighted. I understand a lot of these last week when I was down to surrender myself. I call it that way because meditation is too abstract for me. I found myself expanding from my little place to all over the world. I came to know that something I experienced in this space in my childhood is also there. Everywhere around and within me, like I am in and around everything. I do not need to go in this space. I can feel and experience it here when I just close my eyes. I thought about a lot of situations in the past. For example, years ago, I lost a lover with whom I felt an almost magical bond. I could feel him in details even when we had no contact. I knew what he thought and felt, what he was going through now and even in the past. Although we did not know us, although we did not know us well, and he did not tell me about it before, I looked in his eyes and entered a whole universe. When it was over, I suffered madly. Many months to years I could not let him go out of my mind. Whatever I whatever I tried failed. Some days I found what had made me suffer the most in this situation. I had closed my heart, and this was what hurt that much. So I decided to let the love flow, and it began to flow. I wanted to whisper, I love you, to expressively underline it, but I had to stop. I said I love and knew, felt in every cell that is what is all about. I repeated, I love, I love. I felt the love just being through and out of me, expanding to and through the world, just not by closing my heart. It was a wonderful moment that explained so much. Perhaps, as Rumi said, you have to break your heart till it opens. That was what was happening, and it was the reason why everything happened like this, like it happened, and why it had to. Also, that it was me who accelerated this magical bond because I had totally opened up myself. This was and made me see the magic in him and our bond, but it was just the same magic that is everywhere and around us.